Joining us now is the producer of Entourage, for whom this television show essentially is autobiographical in a way. He is Mark Wahlberg here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Mark?
How are you, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. So what do you think of seeing Entourage, the TV show, up on the silver screen as it's about to be?
You know, it's amazing. You kind of don't think about it until it's actually happening. You know, being at the premiere last night, it was pretty spectacular. You know, we had the first season premiere at a little theater. It was called the Avalon Theater in Hollywood, and there were probably 2 press people there, none of which I knew. One guy had a camera with an old flash on it, and the other guy was holding the video camera. And I was just like, oh, God, this is not good. And then last night, it felt like one of the biggest premieres I'd ever been to. I mean, I'd never seen so many celebrities, athletes, entertainers, you know, people from all businesses. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was quite a sight to see. And then the movie, it just felt like, as I said at the top of the show, like hanging out with old friends you hadn't seen in a while. You know?
Yeah. When we wanted to make the movie, we wanted to obviously pay tribute to all the people that made it such a success, but also have it accessible to people who didn't know the show. You know, people that didn't have HBO or they were too young to have watched it, and now can experience it and go on the journey with the guys.
I'm on the phone with Mark Wahlberg, producer of Entourage, also one of the many cameos in the film right here on The Rich Eisen Show. So which one of the characters in the movie, the TV show, is the closest representation of somebody from your real life?
You know, I was thinking about that last night. It would probably be the real E and Lev, because it's really based on, you know, my manager and my road manager combined. Because they're the kind of most straight-laced, aside from, you know, having multiple women being pregnant. They're probably the closest.
And any agent in your life at all, Mark?
Well, yes, but Ari now, you know, Ari is, when people recognize Ari or they recognize me and they say they love the show, then Ari kicks into Ari Gold mode. I give them a treat. But Ari's much more serious and disciplined shark.
The real-life Ari. Ari Emanuel. Mark Wahlberg joining me here on The Rich Eisen Show. Which movie that you've done in the past would you like to see revived? That you could go ahead and, out of anything in your filmography, Mark, that you'd like to see brought back or put on film?
Well, there's more than one. I mean, I would love to do The Second Fighter, just because everybody said I couldn't. How could you make a movie about Mickey Ward without having the Arturo Gatti trilogy? And the first movie was about the fight. We want the second movie, if we could ever make it, to be about that relationship that was formed with those 2 guys who were basically trying to kill each other, but then grew to be like brothers. I mean, Mickey ended up training Arturo for his last fight against Alfonso Gomez. I mean, it's such a spectacular story. And Shooter, we're actually making into a TV series now.
Huh. No kidding. When is that going to happen?
Well, we're trying to cast it right now. But I was doing it with USA Network and Paramount.
Has there ever been a groundswell at all or a discussion in any way, shape, or form for a Boogie Nights sequel or continuation of Dirk Diggler's life and career?
You know, no, there hasn't. And, you know, I don't want to traumatize my children. I got to explain the first one at some point. A little bit of time, but...
Yeah.
That was certainly one of the best ones I did.
I mean...
It's funny because when you hear the idea, it's kind of like, it was the same experience that I had with Ted, in that you hear the idea and you think, oh my God, this is crazy. This could be really bad. This could be ridiculous. Then you read the material and you think, oh my gosh, if done right, this could be one of the greatest things ever.
But it also seems, in a way, just similar, in a way, to Entourage, that you're watching people have a blast shooting something and putting something together. That's what it looked like watching Boogie Nights. It looked like you were having a blast actually doing it, Mark.
Oh, we were. And you know what's funny about it is because, you know, we were doing it with New Line Cinema, and Mike DeLuca was the head of the studio, and they just basically left me and Paul Thomas Anderson, we were both 25 at the time, to do our own thing. Nobody ever came. Nobody was ever kind of standing over us, you know, monitoring what we were doing. It was just us kind of doing our thing, and Paul, you know, kind of just creating the experience and the environment for everybody.
Mark Wahlberg joining me here. Ted 2 comes out June 26th with you, Seth MacFarlane, and also a quarterback named Tom Brady, who I'm told has some very fascinating scenes in this film. And, Mark, it does appear that the film will hit theaters right in the middle of his appeal for the 4-game suspension with the National Football League. Mark, it looks like it's coming together there.
Well, we're hoping. We're hoping. We need Tommy out there every game.
Well, what do you think's happening there, Mark?
I don't know. Listen, obviously I'm a diehard Patriots fan. You know, I mean, I just feel like, you know, they're trying to keep us down. They're trying to keep us down. They don't like winners. You know?
Yeah.
The best ever. Arguably the best ever. 6 Super Bowl appearances, 4 wins, and probably going to get 2 more victories before he's all done.
So you think he's going to have one for the other thumb when it's all said and done, Mark? Is that what you believe?
Yes, exactly.
Now let's just...
He's going to come and help run the team.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like Bill Russell. He's going to have 11.
So, in all seriousness, have you spoken to Brady at all about any of this? Have you chatted with him in the middle of all this craziness, Mark?
I sent him a message saying, from a guy who's been there, you know, don't worry about it, keep your head up, you know, it'll all blow over. And he sent me a very funny response, so I knew he was handling it well. Because, you know, I mean, you're looking on TV and he's being compared to Alex Rodriguez on Outside the Lines. It's like, what? What are you talking about? You know? You know, I'll always be there to support him. You know, he's a good friend, and he's obviously, you know, the greatest thing that ever happened to the Patriots.
Well, you know what's going to happen, Mark, that no matter how many games Brady's going to miss, Garoppolo will win every damn last start he makes, and then Brady's going to use this as his chip on his shoulder, and then they're going to go ahead and probably win it all anyway. That usually is what happens with the Patriots.
I like that.
You like that scenario?
Oh, I like that a lot.
Okay. I can punch up scripts for you if you need, Mark, in the future, okay?
Go, Garoppolo. Yeah, we should have you writing on Ballers.
I'm there, Mark.
What's it?
Yeah, that comes up. Yeah, whatever you need. Because I am technically a baller, Mark, in some way, shape, or form.
I want to send you the pilot. You know, Dwayne Johnson starring as our new HBO series, and he's producing it with us on NFL Football Players Live Off the Field, and it's absolutely incredible.
Send whatever you want, Mark. I'll be more than happy to see it.
Premieres June 21st on HBO. You got to check it out. You'll love it.
You're all over the place, man, and I appreciate you calling in here. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
You bet. That's Mark Wahlberg.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.